Hello, everyone. Welcome to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. This is the show Date the Right One. I am your host here tonight. I'm Cece Shatz. It is so wonderful here to be with you. We are on the new streaming network, which is home of the Going Solo and Going Bold Media and WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, which is our radio station. We have our lovely guest here with us tonight. I'm sorry, we're getting a little bit of a feedback. I'm not quite sure why we're getting that, but we're going to just try to roll with it because that's what we do here on the Going Solo Network, right? So we have our wonderful guest. She's our elite guest. And those of you that don't know what an elite guest is, it's really one of our very special guests. And the reason being is because we support each other. She supports us and we support her. And that's really basically how it works. So she has been on our show numerous times. We love to have her and can't wait to have her back again, even after this show, because we love her so much. Dr. Wendy Lyon, welcome back.
Oh, thank you, Cece. It is such a pleasure to be here with you. What a treat.
Oh, it is a treat for me. Well, Dr. Wendy, you are a psychologist. You have a master's and a certified relationship coach. You've helped numerous people over the years. I mean, you've been doing this business for how long now have you been in business?
25 years.
I know. So you've seen a lot of relationships during that time, haven't you?
Oh, I sure have. Singles and couples, many people.
I know it is unbelievable. And it's so great to have it because, we need someone that we can kind of go to as a sounding board that can kind of listen to some of the problems that we might very well have, but also some of the challenges and be able to get, really reliable answers as to what we need to do because we do know, right, Wendy, that no relationship is the same. And so even though we might have elements that are very similar to each other, but our relationships are really very unique and we need someone that is truly in the works of healing and helping and moving forward relationships like you are. So I'm so happy to have you on this show with me here tonight. It is such a great thing. So we're going to talk about from lonely nights to loving to lasting love, not just love, right? Not just loving love, right? I almost said loving love. We are going to make it lasting love. And that is a mouthful in itself. So tell us a little bit about your journey, like why you decided to get into those of you that don't out there that you don't know, Dr. Wendy, why she decided to go the route she's going, and then we'll talk about the subject itself.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I know so many people feel stuck and tired of disappointing dates, wondering if love is even possible. Could this really happen? So I just want you to know that it is possible. Today, we're going to get into that and talk more about it. And I think this is like the most important topic ever. That's why I'm doing the work I'm doing. I've been helping people to create lives they love with the love of their lives for 25 years. It's actually going on 26 years now. So that's a long time. And I do this because I think it's so important. But of course, I wanted that for myself. And it took me a heck of a long time to get there. But my husband and I are about to celebrate our 20th anniversary. So that's coming up.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Yeah. So I want that for all of you, and just want you to know that there's hope, and you don't have to have any more lonely nights. So there's a path out. You can have that lasting love.
I love that. So let's start away with trying to figure out how we can get from lonely nights to lasting love. So I'm sure there's a path that we have to start thinking about, right, as we're starting to get out there and date again. And any suggestions out there for our people that are thinking, I want to get back into the arena of dating. I've been either through a breakup or divorce, or maybe they're widowed and they've decided, want to step forward now. So what would you suggest for them to start doing to start building this lasting love quest that we're on?
Yeah, well, just to be aware, there is actually a loneliness epidemic going on. The Surgeon General had a report about it a couple of years ago, and it's a real thing. There's a lot of people who are lonely. So you're not alone, for one thing. Just remember that this is common. I just spoke to a client yesterday who said that's her number one concern, being lonely. And I hear this all the time, especially after a divorce or a breakup. So you're not alone. And what you're probably doing is you're online all the time. And yes, we're connected online, but that's not the same. We're still feeling isolated, right? That's what I hear a lot. Like, yeah, you're maybe making these connections, but there's still this isolation. And an online connection is not the same thing as a real relationship. It's not intimacy. It's whatever it is, but it often is not really the love that you want. And I know it's hard. So I hear a lot like people are disappointed. They're on the apps and they say, oh, they're not working for me. They're having trouble. And yeah, if you approach these dating apps and you don't have clarity and you're not being discerning, it's going to be a nightmare. You'll probably be disappointed and you might feel burned out about the whole thing. You might have what's called dating fatigue that happens, and people say, ugh. But so we're here for the hope. I mean, I know that's what's been going on, and the loneliness that you're experiencing does not have to continue. It is not a permanent state. It is something that can be fleeting, and you're moving through it. And dating doesn't have to be disappointing. It can be really fun if you're dating the right one, right? That's what
Right, absolutely. It can be a lot of fun.
yeah.
So
So, yeah,
let's talk a little bit about, I think when we first start out thinking about dating, right, we have to kind of think about ourselves. Will we date ourselves? And you and I have had that conversation many
yeah,
times, right? Would we really date ourselves? So I think those out there have to ask themselves that. And do you find yourself interesting, right? Do you find yourself, you know, attractive and some of those things? So let's talk a little bit about that because I think sometimes when our bucket is full, that's when good things start happening to us, don't you think?
absolutely. Yeah, you want to start by dating yourself, by
Hmm.
loving yourself. How are you being loving and kind to yourself and accepting of yourself? Yeah, another client was just talking to me about, oh, I don't know if I should, she's dating a new guy. Oh, I don't know if I should be doing this or that. And I don't want to push anything. It's like, show up and ask for what you want and you get to be you. Um, yeah, so often what we're doing, that some of the dating mistakes that people commonly make is we're like dating by default and we're not taking the time to be loving and kind to ourselves, and
Hmm.
we're finding somebody where, oh, there's some spark, there's some chemistry, and then we kind of jump in. That's the typical pattern. People do this thing like, oh, you're cute, let's be a couple, and boom, you don't even know who this person is. You don't know if they're aligned, and you maybe haven't taken the time to get clear for yourself what would that alignment even look like, because you want to take time to know yourself and know what
Hmm.
a good partner would be like. So, well, I mean, we like listen and think of, do I do any of these things? Does this sound familiar? And maybe you're doing something like settling because somebody comes along and it seems like better than nothing. Ever been there? Like, or the friends with benefits thing. Oh my God, I hear stories like just because it's convenient, just because somebody shows up doesn't mean that's a match for you. So
Yeah.
all these kind of mistakes people make.
Sometimes I've heard that where they'll say to me, okay, I'm falling into that same routine. And
Yeah,
then I have to ask them, okay, well, what is that routine? What are you feeling? And when it's the same thing over and over again, it's not. We always project it out, thinking it's the other person. Hey, it's the other person's fault that I'm dating. It's
but
your
you
fault
chose
that
them.
I'm not feeling all that I need to be feeling. But the reality is, it's my fault that I'm not feeling all I need to be feeling. So then we have to kind of take it home to ourselves. If we're on this merry-go-round where that we're constantly getting the same result, the same things all the time, we have to look at ourselves, don't we, to see if we're pushing that button, if we're the one that's we're choosing our pickers wrong, our picker is broken, that
Yes,
kind of thing.
all the time I hear this. Yes, and
Mhm.
what might be happening, maybe you're ignoring red flags. You're just not even paying attention. like you're sort of semi-aware, but no, you're not going to focus on that because you want it to work. There's somebody showed up and wanted to work, and kind of overlooking, maybe you're overlooking really important things. Like, what if this person is drinking to excess or doesn't really communicate with you? Like that's not going to work. And if you know yourself, if you're clear and take the time, you're not going to get involved with that person. So instead of blaming them, saying they drink too much, I said, well, why did you get involved with them? They're going to do what they're going to do, but you get to be the chooser. That's what I tell people all the time.
Right. So what you're saying then is you're in the driver's seat, right?
Yes,
You're in the driver's seat.
Yes, that's such a difference. So when people shift to dating consciously, then they're in the driver's seat. Then you're clear about who you are. You're clear about what you want. Everything can change from there. So you put that clarity and discernment, you're going to make such better choices, and you don't have to worry about blaming the other person, because you're not going to choose somebody who's not a good match.
Right. So let's talk about that good match. So when we're looking at it, there's different elements, aren't there, with regards to, trying to sum up whether an individual is good for us or not. You can go on the dating site and you can meet a lot of different people, but then how do you start choosing on whether they're good for you or not? And I guess one of them is, it's like, I think somebody told me one time, it's like the emotional part of it, if you connect emotionally. The other is if your core values are aligned. So what are those kind of things that we want to share with the audience?
Yeah. Well, first of all, if you don't know what you want, it's like you're driving blind and you're trying to get somewhere. Like, oh my God, you're not going to get to that true love if you don't even know what it is you want. So you want to get to know yourself. What are your values? What are the things that are most important for you? And I take a long time with my clients to help them get clear about what's essential, what's negotiable. And it's what's essential in that relationship, because you don't want to be getting involved with somebody where there's like a deal breaker and it's not going to work. And then you'll end up in heartache. So been there, done that, right? You don't want to do that again. So it's taking the time to, like, that's why I ask people to step back before you jump out there into the dating scene. Take a moment and get clarity for yourself. Okay, who am I and what am I looking for? Maybe depends on what stage of life you're in. What are you looking for right now? Are you younger and wanting to get married and start a family? Maybe you're older. Maybe you want to retire and travel with somebody. So you want somebody who's aligned, who shares your vision for the future, because if you're not aligned, you're going to have some real problems. So get clear. What is it? What am I looking for? And part of it is also believing it's possible. That's a big deal. Like, you need to believe this could happen, and show up with confidence, show up with clarity, and your life can change. And the kinds of things that you're choosing on, it depends on what's essential for you. So yeah, there's got to be compatibility in all the things that matter to you. So what are those things?
Yeah, I know as you're dating, sometimes there are things that come up that you never thought about, right? And
that's true.
They're there, and you're thinking, okay, do I want this or don't I want this? And I think too, we have to be careful not to be so rigid on those things. Some of those things, I mean, I know that we have, certain things that were just non-negotiables. For me, it was smoking. That was a non-negotiable, still is a non-negotiable thing for me. But, and I remember I wanted someone that, had children, because I wanted them to be able to relate to me having children and understanding what it means to have kids, that that even as you get older, you still have to do things with them and want to be with them. And I wanted my partner to understand that. I want that. I'm dating somebody that's never had children, so it's like, okay, well, we bend that rule here a little bit, but he's very family orientated, and he's very, very, very close to his family and to his nieces and nephews and things like that. He was close to them throughout their whole, growing up and all of that. So he's got the same love for his family as I have for my family. So don't be so rigid, right? With
Well,
sometimes.
I'm glad you brought that up, Cece. So for you, the requirement that had to be there is maybe it's a love for children and a family connection, and that's what needed to be in the relationship, regardless of if the partner has children or not.
Right,
So,
right.
but that has to be there, right? If he didn't like kids at all, that wouldn't work.
Yeah, that wouldn't work. Right. That wouldn't work. So yeah, so I mean I put this rigid thing in there. I said, well, he's got to have children or forget it. I'm not going to date him if he doesn't have any children.
Right. But
But
that's
then
not
when I realized that, he does have the same love for his family as I have for mine, we're on the same
yes.
path. So
I'm
yeah.
glad you brought that up because that's the kind of thing that I help people get clear those nuances. What is really important? And
Right.
that's what was in your case was really important. It's we both value family, we love children, and that's an important part of our lives together. And that works.
Yeah, that's why you're so important. I think this is why it's so important to go to a relationship coach, is because they can really start fine tuning those things a little bit more for you. And so often, like for instance, I have a friend that says, I mean, this I find as, and like, forgive me if you're watching, and I know you probably will watch this show afterwards, but he won't date anybody unless they're a brunette. And I said, my gosh, you can give her a bottle and she can dye her hair. I said, in our age group now, even if you're a brunette, you're going to have gray hair. I mean, what does that matter that you have, they have to be a brunette? There has to be something more significant than that. That has to be important to you than
Yeah.
the color of their
How
hair. We should
about
just
that
be
there?
thankful
Yes.
we have hair.
What's that?
I said we have to be thankful that we have hair.
No
So,
kidding. Yeah. So let's look at the things that are really important for the relationship.
mhm.
And maybe there has to be some kind of attraction to each other if you want that kind of sensual relationship. Yes. But
Yeah.
getting so picky with the hair color. Well, people can do what they want to do, but
Yeah, they can.
he could meet a lovely brunette and still be quite unhappy because the important things
But
need to
I,
be.
I do think, Wendy, I think, but going to someone like you, he can talk it through and
Yes.
start to understand why that's important. And so those of you out there that you have something like that is like a non-negotiable, that we all look at it thinking, oh, that's so silly or whatever. There's a reasoning behind why you feel the way you do. And that's why a coach is so valuable, is to really help you, unwind that, to realize what that is and why it's important. And maybe you can somehow, you know, adapt a little bit to that. So it's not like it's something that's so set in stone, something that you can do. So like he could go out with someone that's a blonde or gray hair and said, would you be willing to dye your hair?
Well, that's a lot to ask. So that's another key that the right partner for you is somebody where both of you want to be together without changing each other.
Yeah, that's true. But I'd say, heck, if he pays for my hair every time I have to go get my hair done, I'd say that might not be a bad idea. You know how expensive it is to get your hair done?
Right.
So think about it. No, I mean, I know we're making light of things, but it is true. You want to accept someone for the way they are. And you're right, Wendy.
Yes.
You want
So
that.
you
Yeah.
want to be accepted for who you are, and you want to accept
Mhm.
the other person for who they are. And when you're single, you want to choose wisely and date consciously instead of the regular way of dating that most people do, which is being kind of reactive, where we meet somebody, we feel some attraction. Oh, brunette, cute, okay. And hope it works. And how often does that go well? Not that often. right?
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Well, we're going to have to take a quick break. And when we do, we're going to come back. We're going to talk a little bit more about our subject, which is very important, Lonely Nights to Lasting Love with Dr. Wendy Lyon. And before we go, I want to share her website. It's drwendylyon.com. That's DrWendyLyon.com. So make sure you check that out. But you want to come back and listen to everything we're going to be talking about because we've got a bunch of free stuff, right? We're going to be covering all of those things that Dr. Wendy does and gives away so that you will be able to have this lasting love that we so all want for everyone. So again, it's drwendylyon.com and you are listening to Date the Right One. I am Cece Shatz and we're going to be right back. So hang tight. We're going to talk about some free stuff and a little bit more information on getting and finding your lasting love. We'll be right back. Well, welcome back. We're talking about From Lonely Nights to Lasting Love with Dr. Wendy Lyon. We want to thank you guys for joining us here on newsstreamingnetwork.com, home of Going Solo Media, Going Bold Media, and WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network, our radio station. This show is called Date the Right One. I'm Cece Shatz, your host tonight. And we've been talking about lonely nights to lasting love. And so the first part of the show, if you missed it, not to worry, we'll have it there for a replay for you. But we were talking about not being so set on your non negotiables, right? But have them in place, know what they are, know what you want, understand your core values and how you want to align with someone. And we also briefly talked about why it's important to have a relationship coach like Dr. Wendy to be able to help you through some of those difficult times. So let's talk a little bit more about that because Wendy, we were talking before we took our break. We were talking about how you have some free things that you give away to individuals that are truly in need. I mean, they're in need to be able to connect and learn and understand about themselves. So let's go over some of those things and then we'll get back to our topic because I don't want to miss out on this because sometimes we run a little late and then we don't get to talk about all these things that you have on your website, which is so important. But the first thing, you have a master class and it's free. It's called Fall in Love: How to Find Lasting Love. And so tell us a little bit about why you decided you would do this master class to help people.
Well, it's lots of fun. I think you're going to love it. It's very comprehensive. And I'm giving you a proven roadmap to go from lonely nights to lasting love. So completely free. It's a 2-hour comprehensive workshop, masterclass, interactive, and hopefully very inspirational and educational, but you'll learn how to avoid dating mistakes, to examine limiting beliefs and destructive relationship patterns. So that's huge to get some insight about all that. And you'll get online profile tips. People always love that. And you will learn how to build confidence and get more clarity. You'll get much clearer about your vision of what you want in the right relationship for you. And you're going to learn the 3 secrets to finding lasting love so you can attract the right partner for you, find the right one. So that's going to be pretty great. And also, everybody who joins us will get a complimentary relationship readiness assessment and a consultation with me where I will go over it with you. So that's a $300 value right there.
Wow.
That's well worth it to join us. So I highly recommend that you do. And if you can't make it live for any reason, it will be recorded. So I want to make sure you.
Well, that's terrific. I know you do have a roadmap too. You've got a roadmap to relationship success.
I do. do. I have my roadmap to relationship success from my book with Deepak Chopra called Roadmap to Success. So I have actually co-written 3 best-selling books, and this is one of them. And my roadmap to relationship success, it's great for singles as well as couples, and really gives you a step-by-step roadmap to avoid all the mistakes that people make and to have a clear path to creating a life you love with the love of your life. So totally free. Check that out.
That's wonderful. So all you have to do is just go to our website,
Just
look
go quick.
around there, and you'll see all kinds of stuff. I mean, there's all kinds of things there. But why I think this is so important is not only, I mean, when we're going to get to how to find lasting love, right? The first one, the master class. So you go to the master class, right? You find, the lasting love, but then you got to keep working on it. And so often that's what we miss out on is that transition, that transition that we make from being single into really developing a relationship with someone. And that sometimes that pulls us back because, that single life, sometimes when we're very self-centered, we're always on one-on-one with each other, with ourselves. It's hard for us to be able to then, step away and start thinking about someone else and embracing that. And I think the roadmap to relationship success is definitely there to help guide you guys through that and help you. So if you do meet that one person, that will help you with that. So that's the beauty of Dr. Wendy is, I mean, she's got everything, all the nuts and bolts, right? All the stuff at the beginning, through the middle, at the end, and then we circle back around again.
Oh yeah, I work with you from through the whole process, and I am offering complimentary love consultations to the first 10 people who schedule with me. So
I love that.
gift, yeah. What a nice opportunity for you to just get clarity about your vision, where you want to go, and what your challenges are. Because I know there are challenges, and we can talk about that and come up with a plan to help you to create that life that you love and have the love that you want.
Well, that's wonderful. Thank you for offering that to our audience. So the first 10 people, if you reach out to Wendy, and I put the information up there, it's just schedule with Dr. Wendy.as as, and then .me, and then / love consultant. But, just reach out to her on her website and just tell her you heard her here on the show and that you want to get in on the free consultation and the free masterclass and the free roadmap, and you want to do all of those things because you know what, you really do want to make your life easier, right, as we move through this, because it's complicated. Finding someone, really jiving with that person and having all that work as a relationship, building a relationship is work. It's definitely work, and it's something that is a very joyous, wonderful thing, isn't it? So let's talk a little bit more about getting out of those lonely nights to lasting love, right? So, okay, we talked about, trying to figure out a little bit on who would date me, right? Because I'm looking at myself. And so we've worked on ourselves a little bit. We've decided we're going to go on the website, to be able to meet someone. You're going to help them with their profile, set up their profile, to maybe tweak that a bit to make sure that's all good. And then we've kind of decided like what our non-negotiables are, why it's important to us. And then now what do we do? Do we just push the button and just wait for them to start rolling in?
Well, you want to be conscious and deliberate, and proactive, and like intentional. So it's easy to get distracted and sidetracked, like, oh, that one's cute. That one's, I know where people go. So to stay focused on you're going to create a roadmap. If you work with me, you'll know, okay, these are my values. This is my vision. This is what's essential for me, and the relationship, all that. And you'll be clear. So it's easy to tell if somebody's a match or not a match. So you'll know all that, and you're not just looking for chemistry. So the old way of dating, you're just looking for chemistry. Clearly, that's not enough. Of course, you need some chemistry, but it's not enough. You also need compatibility. You need a shared vision. And so it's like the difference between gambling and having a roadmap. What seems like a better idea? You want to just roll the dice and hope.
I know. It's like, okay, well, she looks good. Let's go with that one,
Yeah, well, that's what people do. Like they go to a bar. Oh, I hope I run into somebody. Oh no, that's not the way to do it. No, yeah, so you want to be intentional and deliberate. And I could share a story if you like about somebody who.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that when we do all of these things, like you said, when we're connected with you and we're doing some of the courses and the classes and we're talking with you and we're able to really kind of home in on what it is that we're looking for. And I do feel like it raises our vibration because believe it or not, you may not meet that person on the dating site. You may very well meet them in the grocery store. You may meet them in your everyday life at the coffee shop or something, because when you start working on yourself, you raise your vibration up to the level that you start kind of coming. And what will happen is you will find that individuals that are interested in you, that are on your same level, will start coming to you. And that will happen, both men and women. That will happen. You'll start connecting, you'll start seeing, you'll be more aware that someone, oh, look at them, they're looking at me. And then we got to talk about not just the meeting and connecting, but what the heck do we do after that? How do we start flirting again? Because, we haven't flirted in a long time. You know what I mean? And there's an art to flirting, isn't there?
Well, you want to show up and be your authentic self
Hmm.
and connect with curiosity. Like, oh, there's a person in front of you. So put your attention out instead of wondering about yourself. Am I good enough? Do I look okay? Am I this or that? Just be present with who's in front of you. Like, oh, this is such an interesting person. You can ask questions. And of course, the right person is going to be interested in you. And then there's a give and take and mutuality in the conversation.
Yeah.
So that's important. But yeah, so raising your vibration is huge. So when you are feeling good about you and knowing that, of course, you're a catch, you're amazing, because it's true, you are. We tend to forget this.
Hmm.
So who knows where you might find that person for you, but you can be open wherever you go.
Right, right. And you allow your personality to come forward. I mean, that's a true gift, I believe, is that you allow yourself to be able to be seen
Yes.
as exactly who you are. And
Yeah.
rather than, waiting and worrying about, is somebody going to like me on a dating site, just be who you are and step forward in your life and grab a hold of it. And next thing you know, things will just start happening for you. Well,
Yeah. Because I know that you are the chooser. You don't have to wait for somebody to pick you and hope they'll like you. No, it's your choice. Like, you know who you are, you know what's right for you, and the right person for you is going to be choosing you back. So that's how that works.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That is so great. That is so great. So, any other information that you'd like to share with our audience? I want to make sure that I get all the information out there to them.
Like, about, I could go on all day. We
I
don't
know,
have.
me too. We can chat about this subject all the
Yeah.
time. But yeah.
Well, I just want to say, I've seen so many beautiful success stories of people. Like, one woman I worked with recently, and she was in her mid-50s and had a history of disappointing relationships and had been pretty discouraged with dating. And she joined my conscious dating group program. That's the Path to Lasting Love, the 3-month program. And she totally shifted things around. She got super clear and confident. She had a conscious plan. And within a few months, she was dating with discernment, and she met an amazing guy, totally aligned. They were like in sync. They were both into spirituality and music and nature. And now they've been happily married for over a year.
Oh, nice.
And both of them are saying this is the best relationship ever. So
Mhm.
it can happen. Whatever your age, I work with people up to their 80s,
Mhm.
usually younger. But I mean, I have had a couple in their age, but I definitely quite a few in their 70s and 60s and 50s and 40s and 30s, and some in
Right.
the 20s. The 20s don't usually come to me; they wait till they have the
Yeah.
problem. But yeah,
Well, I think that's important, because something you bring up, I think it's really important that we need to say that is because we are, as we're getting older, we're still, the older generation is not like it used to be. I mean, I'm in my 60s, I'll confess. I'm in my 60s, but I don't remember my grandmother being like me in her 60s, you know what I mean? And so there's I just feel like there is still time for us to be able to meet someone and have a great time with them.
oh,
Be able to really have fun and share experiences and like you said, to be with someone that you align with is truly a wonderful thing. And
that's
so, yeah, so I mean, I think if you're in your 60s, 70s, don't hesitate. I think now is the time you need to jump on board and, maybe give Dr. Wendy a message and contact her and start talking about what it is that you would like to, who you would like to meet and what type of person that is and what's important to you and maybe she can suggest different sites because now that's something else we didn't talk about tonight and we probably can't go into too long, but there are many sites out there are many dating sites out there, so
oh,
which
sure,
site is best for you? And so talking with Dr. Winnie, she'd be able to kind of help you decipher which site would be better for you to be on
sure.
and how many. I've been told that you need to be on more than one. Is that true, Dr. Wendy?
It's not a bad idea. It's if
Hmm.
you have the time, it's recommended. If you're serious about finding a partner,
Hmm.
why not? You can treat it like what would you do if you're looking for a job? You wouldn't just focus on one thing. You might have a few applications out there, so it couldn't hurt to be on more than one site. I do recommend that. But then some people get overwhelmed, and we will start with one. That's fine.
Right,
Yeah,
right. And then you also have to take it into consideration being able to check all those sites, answer, because you've got to really answer the messages if you're interested. You can't just not let them. And I was always, when I was on them, I was always a world worst. I would get back on, several days later and then wonder, you know, why. Like I remember one time I answered and the guy said, "Oh, you are alive." So I was like, "Yes, I am really here." But
but
yeah.
the main thing is to be discerning and
Mhm.
don't settle. Remember, you can create that love that you deserve. So
Yeah, that is wonderful.
you
That is
can have it.
wonderful. Well, again, Dr. Wendy has a lot of different programs out there that are free for you. So take advantage of those. But the biggest thing I think she's giving us here tonight is she's giving 10 people free consultations. So if you see this is evergreen, okay? So you want to make sure when you see it, you could be the last person. So you want to make sure you contact right away.
Yeah, reach out to me. Well, no matter when you see this, I
Yeah,
will
so
always be
reach
happy
out.
to hear from you.
Right. So reach out to her. It's drwendylyon.com. So Dr. Dr. Wendy, Wendy, Lyon, Lyon.com. She is also one of our elites. Her information's on our website. If you forget, you can get it there. There's many ways you can reach her, but just reach her. If you've got a question about dating, a question about relationships, just anything to be able to start making that first step because that's really, I think, the key to dating is making that first step that you decide you want to do it. Now, how do we go about doing it? So contact Dr. Wendy. Okay.
I'm going to give you my email, which is Wendy at drwendylyon.com.
There you go. I love that. Wendy at drwendylyon.com. So you want to email her and just let her know that you're interested in participating in whatever she has available for you. We would love that. Well, we're going to have to close tonight. It goes by so quickly. Those of you, if you want to reach me, I'm at the Going Solo Network at gmail.com. That's Going Solo Network at gmail.com. And then my website is goingsolonetwork.com .com. So goingsolonetwork.com. So you can reach me there. But we want to just thank you so much for joining us here tonight, Dr. Wendy. You are just a joy to be with. We just love having you.
Oh, it's such a pleasure to be here with you, Cece, and with all of you watching, listening. Such a delight to be here. And remember, you don't have to spend another night feeling lonely.
That's
I'd love to guide you on your journey and help you move forward towards that life you love with the love of your life.
Oh, that'd be wonderful. Well, everyone, we want to thank you so much for being on Date the Right One. You're listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, our radio station. You're on newstreamingnetwork.com, home of Going Solo Media, Going Bold Media. I am Cece Shatz. I'm fondly called the Doyenne of Relationship Building. I want to thank you so much for being with us here tonight. And we just love having Dr. Wendy Lyon on. She, as again, is one of our elites. We want to thank her so much for her support. And everyone, please reach out to her and let her know that you watched her on the show here tonight and let her help you. If you have any concerns, any problems at all with regards to dating, relationship building, anything like that, she would be more than happy to help you. So, everyone, good night. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.